So good evening, everybody. This is why I start the meetings a little bit early. My name is Robin, and this is the February meeting of Friends Becoming Neighbors. I can't believe it's 2025. It's really a little scary. And Michael and I have officially been here just a little over 6 months, which is amazing. And every day has become quite a new learning experience. There's a lot of things to share about what 6 months looks like here. Melissa, how long have you guys been officially? You're at 4? Okay. Hello, puppies. Um, and it's very interesting what happens at the 6 month mark. And it came very, very fast. Very, very fast. So, this whole house thing, who would have believed it, and what has actually been accomplished and what life looks like. We're going through seasons, and there's a cattail right in all I see is his tail. So it's been really, really interesting. There's so much going on, so much amazing stuff happening, a lot to share with you. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions about things that have been happening down here. Has everybody, and of course, because if somebody from the office watches this meeting, and believe it or not, there are a lot of people that do watch it. Has everybody gotten their POA? And then they didn't ask me to talk about it. Have you received your dues? The letter from the POA meeting and your dues
Yes.
bill and everything.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make, because there are some people who have not received it, so they don't know what I'm talking about. So has everybody gotten it?
Yep.
They've seen it. Has anybody not gotten it?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I remember the first one that we got, Michael, but we were so excited. We bought our dirt. We own dirt. We got a tax bill. I was so excited. It was like, what, $125 or something for the taxes on the dirt. It was like this ridiculous thing. And
Janine, you raised your hand.
Well, just a quick little aside to that, because we're not living down there yet, and then we're going to be a lease back. When we were down President's Weekend, we went to our mailbox, and lo and behold, the POA invoice was in our mailbox. So reached out to Pat, and I was like, "Hi, not living there, not for a while." And everybody will find this comical. She said that the mail delivery person told her that we were starting to accept mail at our mailbox, and that's why she sent it there. So if somebody hasn't received it, it may be in your mysterious mailbox. But I thought that was interesting that a USPS person told her we were receiving mail. It was probably all of Kim's mail that I got the month before that they thought was our mail.
Right, that's what I was going to say. She collected my mail since December. I didn't get one Christmas card. I was feeling kind of like, all the people that I sent cards to, I didn't get one back. No, because they were all in her mailbox.
Yeah.
And praise the Lord, she came and she's like, just for fun, let's go to our mailbox and see if we have anything. And it was stuff, but it was all for me.
It's like 2 inches high.
But all right, so did you apply for your mailbox key already?
Oh, we applied like months ago, but we never said,
okay.
And Pat knew not to send it.
Okay,
there.
But
it's because the mail person said to her, "Oh, they're starting to receive mail there." Pat sent it there, but it really was all of Kim's mail in the wrong mailbox.
Okay, so technically and theoretically, you really shouldn't. I mean, again, I'm not telling people what to do, but you probably shouldn't start. You're not supposed to. Let me back this up. Before we have the service getting the keys for us, the post office wasn't going to issue keys until you had your CO. Okay, that's changed because we now have a person or a service doing this for the Bluffs. So now if you get your key from the post office, it's a signal to the post office that you are now receiving mail. So the post office doesn't know that you're not living here. You have a key. So it kind of flips the switch that they can deliver mail to your house. Now, Pat should have known that, or somebody, you need to let them know. But the post office now sees that you're delivering mail. So that's why. So when we got our CO, we got our keys because we knew we'd be in like a month or 6 weeks. And we left a key here with a friend to check it every, once or twice a week, just to make sure that nothing slipped through the cracks.
On a,
So,
on a similar note, so we did that with the boat storage area as well. I sent her down the paperwork and I didn't hear back. And I called her and she said, well, is your boat down here? And I said, no, it won't be down there for a while. And she goes, okay, well, let me know when you get in the area with your boat and then we'll assign you a space. And I told her that the only reason I was doing that was because there was information going around that space was limited.
But all right, Kim, you might be getting a key at some point.
but seriously, if you do get your keys, then there's no real reason to get keys until you're getting close to being here. As I said, we did it just to start because we wanted to start.
So Robin,
Yes, dear.
here's an exception though. There are people that are still building, but they're living in the area
Correct.
while they're building. So if you're living in Brunswick Forest, renting a house or an apartment, or you're living downtown, renting an apartment, you know what? You're pretty much a resident here anyway. You're going to be coming on site to go to the pool. You're going to come to check your mail. You may play pickleball or golf or do any of the other activities. So if you are living down here, even though the house is under construction, get your key, but come check your mail because
Right.
the first time Robin and I came down here and with our key and we checked our mail, we were so excited. It was all junk anyway, but and it wasn't that much, but it was junk. And as Robin said, we left our key with a friend and she checked it for us until a few weeks later we were here, and then now the junk doesn't stop.
Yeah, well, and that's pretty much what we do. But it's really it's really kind of a flipped switch. Yes, Brian.
Like I said last month, Janine, especially for you, because you're going to be leasing back, you should probably go to USPS and forward all your mail to your current home, because we found out when we were down for owners weekend that there was a bunch of our mail in somebody's random mailbox, the Walker's mailbox.
Oh,
And she actually had seven different people's mail in her mailbox.
oh, poor Tammy.
So the best thing to do is, if you're not physically on site, is just get your mail forwarded. That's what I did. And we
Okay,
just
no, that's a good
started
idea.
getting it from down there a week or two ago.
That's a good idea, because the only thing we would get is junk, because Haygood reaches out up here and the Bluffs always sends everything here, and that's what she had on file, and except until the mail guy said, oh, they're getting mail, but it wasn't our mail. The only mail we've gotten there physically was the POA invoice. So
And the other option is everybody can do, if you do pick up a key, you can go to USPS and then you can put in the Bluffs address. You can still put in like we have the rentals address. So I know ahead of time what mail is coming to this house. And then I also
email to your email. So you sign up for postal alert and it will send you a copy of all the mail that's being delivered that day.
oh,
Yeah,
how do you do that?
too.
It's
Yeah,
going to-
that's what I think. But we get that too. That's the
We've been doing that for 10 years, Robin.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, so-
signed up for a postal alert, and every day, every morning at 8 o'clock, pretty much, I get an email from USPS. It gives me an image of most of the mail that's going to be in our inbox, and it also tells me what packages are coming. So
Right.
Robin and I can be on the lookout, and we've done this for a long time.
Can you just do that online for
Yeah.
down here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then Janine can just put in. I mean, I only have the one address, but my husband says you can put in multiple, one address. And then
Yeah, but I can put in the Bluffs and
yeah, that way is something. So if I had done that for the River
you
Park
would have
event,
all of your holiday
like,
cards.
well, mail came somewhere, but I don't know who got it.
Me,
no, it's all good. And all of these things are part of, I mean, if you're not going to be here down here all the time, but if you are going to be coming back and forth, or you want to start transitioning some of it, then certainly there are plenty of people here that you can leave your keys with, and we're God knows we're there every day. It seems to be coming earlier. It was really interesting when we first moved down here. It was like the zombie apocalypse after dinner. Like after dinner at like 7:30, all of a sudden you would just see like everybody in the neighborhood would just start walking towards the mailboxes, or you'd see the golf carts just all started walking towards the mailbox. And they would walk the dogs afterwards. And I was like, where is everybody going? And then you would say, we're going to get the mail. And then everybody would get there and the mailman would still be there at like 7:15, 7:30, and they still hadn't finished opening the mail. And some of them won't let you touch anything, even if it was closed on. I mean, it was really weird, but it seems to be getting better. It's a big job delivering all of our mail. But it's getting better. It's getting better all the time. And Eleonora, we see stakes. Your build is starting. It's getting very excited. They've been out there on a daily basis. You got a lot of little stuff. Have they been sending you pictures, or do you need pictures?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I finished all the paperwork and everything, and I think we cleared that little hurdle was the 6 inches. So it went down to 2 inches, and I think they cleared that last 2 inches.
Oh, okay, so you're using marble. We're going to build the Taj Mahal there. Is that what's happening now? We've gone from brick to marble, and
Pretty much. So it's amazing, but yeah,
Good.
hopefully we will see some movement over there, because everything on my side, it's cleared.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Barbara, what's going on with you?
Hi.
Hi.
We're down the end of January, so things are moving forward. Then the next stage will be putting the drywall up and the insulation and then the siding. So yeah, moving along. Still in for, I guess, beginning of July sometime, maybe even sooner, he said. I talked to them today, so we'll see. Fingers crossed, everything's good.
Awesome. Amy, what's going on with you? Amy and David.
Go ahead.
You can talk.
Come on, Amy.
No, I think he already gave an update.
But not everybody was here, so we want to hear it.
No. Okay. What did you say? The foundation is finished.
Yes, there should be an inspector in the next day or two, and then they want to backfill with dirt and I guess start from there. So it's kind of exciting.
Fabulous. Do you have a target date?
I think when we started this process, we said something like October, November timeframe, but we've had a few delays. So
Weather and other things.
yeah, so I'm assuming that it's still going to hold true to that. Hopefully, we're going to be down the end of March. We're bringing our son and his girlfriend to see everything. He hasn't seen it yet.
No, excellent. So it is with great joy and exultation. I mean, I'm jumping up and down. Can't you tell me jumping up and down? I'm going to call on Suzanne Napoli. Where's Gary?
He's just getting home from work.
So I'm calling on Suzanne, and I am with glee and jumping up and down. If I could jump up and down, I would do that.
Yeah. So I was there last week. Brought my daughter. You met my daughter. And we're close. Probably within a couple of weeks, and
Wow.
I'll be coming down. So
You got your CO.
Yes. It was very cold last week, though. Colder than
It was
asked
really
for.
cold. It was cold and nasty.
Yeah. We stayed in Myrtle Beach, and we went walking in the morning, and I just couldn't believe how cold it was. It was so cold. But would have been better this week, but she was off last week. So, but we should be down there soon.
And then when are they going to start putting in your landscaping?
Gary still has to talk to Steve, but I don't know that yet. But
Okay,
it should be
excellent.
soon.
But the house looks beautiful.
Yes,
and
very happy.
good.
Very happy.
And see, we're glad to hear that.
Yes.
Where's
we're
your
glad.
house?
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's Little Berry Place. lot 24, Littleberry Place. When you come in, it's that first circle.
Okay.
You could see it. It has brick on it. No landscaping, but we'll have that soon.
It's on the way to the Nibel's house. It's actually on the way to the Nibel. You have to pass, you have to look, you can see it on the way to the Nibel's house. So we're very excited. It's been long. It's been way too long.
Yes, way too long.
Way too long coming. So Brian, what's going on with you?
Well, we're starting to buy furniture, so we must be getting close.
Excellent. Yeah.
Move-in's the last week of May. Other than that, it's just expensive. That's all.
Yeah, we're not even going to ask Michael about that. So Debbie, what's going on with you guys?
So we are, they're pouring the slab tomorrow. Yay, finally. So once that's set, I guess we go vertical.
So what is the address so that we can go over there and get you some pictures?
It's
7044 River Park Way.
Or Dockview Court. It's right on the corner.
On the corner. It's a Haygood build. But we're in Brunswick Forest, so we're
Oh, you're here. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
you can
No,
come and
we
you're gonna come
appreciate
and
it, though.
watch.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good.
To see you guys if you stop by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go up.
Absolutely. There's a lot of concrete going on here. I mean, a lot of concrete being poured. And I think some of it was probably delayed because of the cold and the snow and a lot of that stuff. Our block all of a sudden exploded with activity between houses being painted and driveways being poured. And I mean, Melissa, even since the last time you were here, you can't believe the houses that have been painted and the driveways. Jones' driveway got poured yesterday after, all this time, and big trucks on narrow blocks. So it's there's a lot of action, a lot of stuff going on here. Just when you think that you've seen all of it. And Kim, you guys have been driving, and especially even Janine down by your area. It's every time you go around a corner that you think, and Michael, you've been doing it on your bike. It used to be so quiet. I would go down to the water and you just drive around, and you never had to worry about running into anything, and there were no nails and all of a sudden you go around a corner and wait, there are 3 houses there. I left this morning to go to the pool, and I came back and like half a house was up. Like it goes up so fast. So the parks, unfortunately, and hi guys, hi Dennis and Denise. Their house went up there. I left my house, and their first 2 walls went up, and I came back later on, and they're like half a house is up. Their framing is going up. So Michael took pictures of that. So it's just a lot of stuff happening all throughout the community. The pool is being resurfaced. They're going to start in March. It will not affect the opening of the pool. However, if you're going to come and swim in the pool, I would suggest, because what I've been taught is that resurfacing of a pool will make it rougher at the beginning for the beginning of it. So go out and get yourself some pool shoes, which I think everybody should wear pool shoes in a public pool anyway. But it might hurt your little tootsies. So get some really pretty. Amazon has fabulous pool shoes. I wear them all the time. So that's happening. I know everyone wants to know about the clubhouse. When is the clubhouse opening? So it's still fluid, and don't you shake your head at me. I see that head shaking back there, Jen. You know what? You're here every single day. Stop shaking your head. I see you in the back.
There's no drywall up yet.
Okay. So they're working fastidiously.
Is that a government job?
I'm not going to comment.
Okay. This is being recorded. So from what I heard, I think the foam insulation I've heard from somebody that they did some insulation. They're working really hard on getting it done as quickly as they possibly can. And it will be done as quickly as it possibly can. So that's what I can say about that. It's going to be fabulous, and we'll all be talking about it by this time next year. We won't remember when it wasn't here. Right? So we'll be talking about the next thing that we need. So we'll all sit around the bar and we'll all be laughing about how we were talking about how the clubhouse took so long to be built, but how fabulous it is and how wonderful it is that it's there. Okay. So lemons, lemonade, we kind of just turn it into that. I just wanted to take them because I'm waiting for Chip should be on really soon. I just wanted to take a moment. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody of anybody with their bills? Melissa, why don't you tell just before I do anything, just let everybody know one of the things that that we're talking about. I know that we're doing, I think one of the other things that's happening here is we're doing our first blood drive. So we have some initiatives that are coming, and then also talk about what you and Rob are doing, that we're bringing back some other things and some initiatives that Melissa came to me. She wanted to get more involved in Bragg. And Bragg is really just a communications opportunity between the POA, which is basically Doug, it's basically the developer, and the rest of the community. So if you have something going on and you haven't been able to get an answer, and you're not getting the answers, all we are doing is trying to help you get better answers. So Melissa came and said, I want to, help and do stuff and get, to be more involved in the community. What can I do? So, and I said, well, you have, and then you take it away.
Okay. Yeah. So, my background is in healthcare, and one of the things that I noticed is that they have a first aid kit and an AED out at the pool, but my question was that it's not really documented anywhere. The signage isn't, there's no like big sign that says AED. And my question was like, who's been trained to use it? Who knows how to use it? Who knows even that it's there to use it? So, I talked with Rob Stevens, who is currently building right now. He's not in the community yet. Robin asked me to connect with him because he also has a background in first responding. He's a ex-police officer and trained as a first responder. And there's been a request for some CPR classes. So what's amazing down here is there's a Brunswick County EMS that does community outreach, and they actually offer CPR classes to communities just like ours at no cost. So between Rob and I, we arranged to get a CPR class scheduled, which is going to be happening in March. I think it's March 12th, Wednesday evening. From 3:30 to 5:30, and we're going to cover using of AED, and then we'll take that opportunity to like educate everybody that we have an AED on site, where it's located and how to use it, all that kind of stuff. It's not a formal certification course or anything like that. It's really just to teach bystander CPR and some basic first aid. So I'm really excited about that. I think within 12 hours of posting the CPR class, I had 15 people already signed up. So we can only accommodate 25 in the size of our current clubhouse. So I would anticipate that we're going to fill up pretty quickly, but just for those of you that either are not here yet or going to be coming, toward the middle to later part of the year, my plan is to just bring another CPR class. So we'll probably make that at least an annual, if not biannual event for the CPR classes. But there's tons of activities, Robin, that's going to be happening in March. We're going to have the St. Patty's Day thing, and the First Fridays are starting. First Friday happy hours are starting again in March. The blood drive, as you mentioned, that's happening on March 3rd. So if you're in the community or near the community, if you haven't signed up for the blood drive, great way to give back, obviously, to the community by donating blood. So, was there anything else you wanted to cover?
No, I just so Friday they're doing a garage crawl
Mhm.
Which, having grown up in an apartment, this is definitely something we did on a regular basis. So anyway, so basically I want to know, John, are we crawling through your garage, or are you, I didn't think so.
It's not even put together yet.
Yeah, not completely arranged.
So,
yeah.
so it basically what's happening, it's giving people in the community an opportunity to open up your garage. And Lori's going, what the heck is a garage crawl? So basically people are having the opportunity to show off their garages with hors d'oeuvres or food or whatever. And with some beverages, you can bring your own beverages of your choice. Chip's going, okay, I'm coming to visit Robin on Friday night. The boys are welcome, but okay. And then people are driving around in their golf carts from garage to garage. And I just want to like watch what's going to happen with all these people going from garage to garage, thinking and eating. And I'm going, okay, I just want to watch the movie of what's going to happen in the community. So there's amazing creativity here. And if you want to do it, it can be done. So there's so much energy and there's so much wonderful togetherness and really amazing activities that are going on. And just curious and just really actively anxious to see what the next thing is going to bring. I told Kim when she said, why aren't you taking any of my yoga classes? And I said, because I can't get up and down off the floor. So she said, and I said, I'd love to take a chair yoga class. She said, okay, so we'll do a chair yoga class. 2 hours later, she found time to do it. And we opened this chair yoga class. And now there's waiting lists to get into the chair yoga class. But we make things happen the best that we can. So, if there is something that you want or something that you would like to have and you're not even here yet, let us know, because we can start working on making it happen before you're down here. And when people tell me certain things, sometimes even that they didn't want to make it happen and they get here because it's a really good idea, we're always looking for some things to do if it's a great idea. So hey Charles, how are you?
I am doing fine.
Good. What's going on?
Just, working through waiting on our house.
Okay. And so where are you? What's going on?
We heard earlier today that windows are in. So
yay. Well, so you know what? That is the perfect. I mean, I could not have paid. So I want to know, Dalen, did you pay him to say that? Okay, I wouldn't put it past you, okay, because I know you well enough to know that could have been a little, was there a $5 bill that
It's
right
too
next
perfect. That's a good nudge.
Charles, what you don't know.
Thank you, Charles.
That our next
I got my check, by the way. I'll fix
Yeah,
it.
there you go. It's in the mail. Promise.
Our next speakers are 3 of my favorite human beings on the planet. No offense, Michael, but 3 of my favorite human beings on the planet from Gotcha Covered, who have done the beautiful window coverings in my home and in many, 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 many homes here at the Bluffs. And they are going to talk to everybody here and those who were not able to make it, but I know that are watching, because they are one of the most commonly, please bring them back, because I miss them. And they did my house, and everybody needs to know about them. And we love Chip and we love them. Oh my God, if I have to hear about, and they love you, and that's all fine. But I gotta tell you, boys, and they're not boys anymore. They were, 2 years ago when they came.
They're just kids. Look at them. They're kids.
Wait a minute. I made them blush. Look at that. They're blushing. They're blushing. They were so young. Look at you and look at your men. But this is the one of the what we love is about family and about knowing we have so many people in and out of our homes. And I don't know whether you feel this as well. And when you're coming back down, there's so many people coming in and out of your homes. And many of you know the people or through your builders. And I know that when we came down, we didn't need a lot of window coverings. So we thought. So we came down and said, oh, we're not going to need this. We're not going to need that, because we don't get sun here. We don't get sun there. But there were things that we needed. And I met Chip through another person who was here on Friends Becoming Neighbors. And he said, I know him from home and blah, blah, blah. And we brought him in, and it was a no-brainer. And we've been, not only did he do the window shades in my house, but we've been friends for going on 3 years now. I mean, it was 20, I think we met in like the end of 20, beginning of 22.
Mhm.
I'm in my house 6 months already. So this is crazy.
Yeah.
So he had come about a year, was it a year ago? Almost about a year ago. And so much has happened, including the window treatments, and everybody that comes into my house says, oh my God, like those shades are beautiful. Who did them? So I'm going to reintroduce to all of you here, if you haven't met this beautiful family, and amazing company. And I'm just going to basically turn it over to them and live up to that one, guys.
Thank
No
you.
pressure.
All my thunder. Yeah. So my name's Chip, and these are my two boys. This is Flynn, and this is Dalen. And started this business, what do you say, 6, 7 years ago?
No, not 2016. 2017.
Whoosh, I'm starting to feel old. Anyway, so started this business. The boys were still in high school, and I'm yanking them out of high school, making excuses for them to come with me and help out with installs and whatnot. But basically, we're what's called a window treatment dealer is what we are. So we work with, gosh, probably 20 different companies, depending upon what a person would be looking for, whether or not you're looking for shutters, which are very common down in this neck of the woods. If you're looking for roller shades, whatever you might be looking for, we specialize in that. And I think some of the things that we do a little different than my competitors is that we work with a handful of different vendors, and we really understand which vendor is really good at doing what. Like if we're going to talk about plantation shutters, if someone said, I want to go down that avenue and look at that option, we know exactly who to talk to. We normally run a couple of different prices to make sure that we're in a good price point with each vendor. Each vendor at times has, they call them spiffs, different programs that they offer, different discounts. So it's important to kind of navigate the process. And realistically, we're just a small family business. We do a really good job because we care. And, at any point in time, and I know, being new to this area, and I remember moving here myself, 20 years ago, not knowing anybody, not knowing, am I getting a good deal? Is this guy going to do what he's supposed to do? So we're a verified, resource for window treatments. And, whether or not you might need just a couple of options, or we can do a phase 1, phase 2, we normally do that with clients. We'll work with them in certain things where they know I need this. And then as time evolves and you live in the house, you realize there might be other things that you want to change or need to do. So that's pretty much a rundown of, what we do. So that's pretty much it. It's good business and we love what we do. And we've done so many houses in the Bluffs. And like Robin had said, we've made friends with just about everybody we work with, which is super cool. And it's just been a great experience to work with, everybody in the Bluffs, and we're in just about every community around here as well. So that's pretty much it.
So Eleonora was asking is if you have a showroom.
Yeah, we used to back in the day, and we realized that it was probably one of the biggest loss leaders. It made no financial sense to have it except for to do things just the way everyone else did, because people would come into the showroom that we had in Wilmington and they would fall in love with something there. Then, of course, the next trip is always to go back to the house to determine whether or not what you fell in love with there you still want for your house, and then do measurements and talk how we mount things and how we install. And just about every time we did that, people would say, you know what, I loved it over there. Thank you for trekking to the house, but in the house, I'd rather do something else. So we basically just looked at the numbers of it all, and it just didn't make sense anymore. So we're a rolling showroom. And quite frankly, I think it is a much better way to do things, because what's important is for us to bring the options to you so you can hold them up in your windows, look at them. We can look at the house, the way it lays as far as in relation to the sun. And it's just a better process in your house than it would ever be in our showroom. So we decided to get rid of that, and it was smart, and we reduced our margins, and it's been just a good option.
So Eleanor, when you if you guys want to just meet. So the first time I met with Chip, you know, you're welcome to use my home if you want to come see what's here. I mean, there's so many people here. So the next time you're here, if you want, certainly come and see what I have here. And if you want, we'll drag him over here. And because he has different books and things like that, so you can take a look. And it travels with him.
Yeah.
So this way, because you don't know what kind of light you have until the house is up, and all these things that I thought that I wanted, and even when I tried to order them, you know, then we realized it wasn't the right thing. So,
Yeah.
it's better when you're in the house and the windows are up and you see what's there.
Yep.
It's always better. Brian.
Hey, Dylan, do you guys do window tinting?
Yeah, actually, we did window tinting forever. We worked side and side with a guy named Randy. I would introduce you to an owner of a company named Randy's SPF tinting. He does automobile, he does boats, he does houses, he does commercial, and he's super fast. His price point is phenomenal.
Okay.
I realized a long time ago with tinting, it's about how quick you can be. And he only does tint. And that's, I think, part of our value is all we do is window treatments. You know, we don't do garages, we don't do closets, we do window treatments. That's our specialty. So to answer your question is I would turn you on to a guy named Randy. He's fantastic. But for anything that's a window treatment, that's what we do.
So if you don't do it, you know people who do. Because we need both.
Yeah.
But living up here up north, we had our windows tinted, which we found saved a lot of the interior, the flooring and stuff from the UV lights.
Yeah. And a lot of times when I meet with a client, I'm meeting them, they say, you know, let's talk about tint as well. We go through my end of the process, help them set up an appointment with Randy, meet with Randy, and then we just kind of, you know, coordinate, if you will.
Okay.
Sometimes tinting will do the job of a window treatment. A lot of times also you'll tint something and then turn around almost immediately and say, you know what, the tint isn't enough. I need a treatment there. So kind of work hand in hand with Randy. I've been working with him hand in hand for it's been 5 years.
He's as good as it gets.
Yeah, he really is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the other thing I also liked was I knew who was coming in to install. You know, that there was communication, so it wasn't a random person. I knew who was coming in, because the boys are coming in to do the installation. There is nobody else that's coming in. And if you know, if you do one thing and if something's not 100% or something shifts or they're in the neighborhood all the time, they're coming back because they're the ones that put it in. So it's not like somebody else has to come back and do something else. So I like the fact that I know exactly who's coming into my house after so many different people showing up for so many different things all the time.
Yeah, you know,
that was me.
Yeah. So it is. And, you know, from our perspective, we like it that way too. We try to keep our team this right here. When you start involving subs and sometimes even employees, and I've gone down that road in previous life, you know, you end up with a lot of variables that you can't always control. You know, we've trained each other and I've trained them. And we're super, you know, efficient, real good. We're on time and we take care of our clients. And that way, as the boss, I don't have to worry one bit, and I love that. Yeah.
What are you seeing? Are there any new trends coming up, and anything new that you're seeing down here or in the houses that people are using?
Yeah, you know, not really new trends, but just more going away from heavy draperies and things like that, and going more towards, you know, we're coastal, right? So more towards the coastal look, which is light, airy, a lot of shutters. Natural shades. That's right, Flynn, which are like woven wood shades. And I think what's a good thing to look at, each room can have its own style as long as it's not in eye shot of. So if you have one big space, of course, you're going to want it to coordinate. But like, take, for instance, your rooms, Robin, you've got, you know, the one side room there that has, I mean, beautiful Roman shades, cloth Roman shades. You know, then you go to another room in the house and it's a completely different look. And you know, we specialize in helping clients understand how to work with different products and what will go, what won't go. Maybe, you know, it's important to present to the street, everything's uniform from the front. So that's kind of the stuff we do. But as far as trends go, it's just more going away from the traditional heavy draperies and more into maybe like side panels, maybe if you want to pop a color, and then just more streamlined products. And we do a lot of shutters. Shutters are predominant down here.
Is there anything that you guys don't work with?
No.
No, cover the window, we do it pretty much.
And I will tell you, as far as vendors go, we've got about 20 that we work with. One of the vendors that you may have heard of named Hunter Douglas, and I'm not trashing Hunter Douglas at all, but I'm saying they've got a really high price point. And I can say, you'd ask me what things that I don't do. Realistically, there's only a couple vendors we really rarely work with because they don't have the best product and they might have a really high price point for what you're getting. And that's, I was back in the day, I was an insurance agent, and our job as an agent was to help save money for the clients. And that's really the methodology we brought to this business, is to make sure you're getting what you want, you're not overspending, you're not with a vendor that's gouging you. And it's just, that's kind of the way we roll.
Hi, Chip. I have a question for you. So, hi, my name is Jeff, my wife, Lori.
Hey, Jeff.
And we have a Haygood home that just came off lease back, and it's being turned over to us next month. So it's kind of like a blank slate. And so we're going to be down towards the end of March. Could we go with you a time if you could come out while we're down? Can we just reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think we did last time is Robin included our email address, usually the easiest way to start the process.
Okay.
So why don't you guys, why don't you guys, Flynn, why don't you put it in the chat? Why don't you guys put it in the, if you want, put all that information in the chat so that this way you guys can have it. And then when I send out the recording, I'll put everything in the chat. And if anybody wants any of it, you can certainly reach out to me and get it as well. Sure. And then I'll put it. It's also, I believe you should also find it in the Living in the Bluffs. In the on the Facebook group Living in the Bluffs, there's a preferred vendor sheet, a listing of all the people of all the different businesses. I believe it's in there as well, but I will make sure that everybody has it.
Yeah.
I'll send it out to everybody.
And did you just post it on there?
Yeah, I think I posted it on there.
Yeah.
It's in the chat.
Good job. That would have taken me 20 minutes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's like, bing, bing, done.
Bing, bing. It's all good. Janine.
Yeah.
Question, because never bought window treatments in my life other than, good old Home Depot.
Right.
Like, is there an average wait time for, between measuring and ordering? Is it like a month, 6 weeks? What?
Good question. Normally, as far as timelines go, normally what we try to do is try to meet with a client and realistically, when your windows are installed and your window casings are in, everything's framed out and the casings are in, your molding is installed. That's a time frame where we can start measuring and determining what you might want to do.
Well, we're doing a lease back with Haygood, so we're not. I mean, the house might be done like in May, but then it's a year. So, what kind of timeline as far as maybe seeing, prior to a lease back ending? Is it a couple of months out or?
Let's do this way. Once we order product, you have a waiting period for every different product. But realistically, shutters, plantation shutters are about 4 to 5 weeks. Everything else is about 2 to 3 weeks, roughly.
Okay.
So then that's your timeline there, and whatever works for you as far as the time frame to get us, to meet with you, and then the process of determining what you might want to do usually takes about a week or two to digest things.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, and we and it is, and we do a really good job of making it not overwhelming. We're good at this. We've been doing it for a long time. So last thing we'd ever do is come in with everything and show you everything and blow, make you completely nuts. So what we do is basically sit down with you, and even beforehand, maybe kind of come up with ideas of things you like, things you don't like, and then streamline the appointment. Yeah, our appointments usually take about, 30 minutes to an hour.
It's not that bad. Not as bad as people think.
Okay. But a lot of times you say the plantation shutters or shutters are, popular down there, but with a lot of the windows, in order to clean them, you have to tilt in. Doesn't the hardware of the shutters get in the way to stop that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Actually, a lot of the times, no. We're one of the few, I don't know, one of the few professionals that do what we do, that do what's called an inside mount. If you do an inside mount and you use your window frame as the frame and you properly install into that space, and you really have to be very good with your measurements. It's down to a 16th of an inch. But this is kind of something we've been specializing in forever. Is most of the times you can swing the shutter out enough so that you clear it and can still tilt your windows. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand it, but a lot of our competitors, they do a frame inside a frame and they block that functionality, which is a huge no-no. So I don't know why they do. I just know how we do it.
Okay.
Most cases, the answer is no. You can
Okay. Because I've heard from somebody else that you couldn't. So that an interesting answer, because I know from somebody else, aka Kim, that you can do it. But and you also said a lot of people do like a phase one, a phase two. So I'm assuming phase one is like get some window treatments on the master and some of the higher privacy areas, and then phase two is the ancillary areas.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
exactly it. Yeah. Usually it's your primary, your bathrooms, phase one, maybe a guest room that people are going to be in, and then the secondary bathroom, or the bonus room, and it just goes from phase one to phase. We're on a client right now. We're on phase 7. So yeah, I mean, and we've been chipping away at this thing for years, and we're right where we need to be. And she's made some really awesome decisions that took time. So it's cool.
Yeah, because I would think it's hard. Like even with us going there, you want to see what your privacy factor is when your landscaping is in, when it mature, especially it'll have a year to mature for us,
Right.
and sun and neighbors and all that kind of stuff. That, to Robin's point, you may love something and then just say, "Oh no, that's not gonna work."
Yeah, and that's why I think the phase 1, 2, 3 process, I think it's a great way to go. I really do. And it also, I think I mean, when we work with a client, we do a good job. We pay attention to what we're doing. So, going from phase 1 to phase 2 is a painless process because we've already proved we can do our job and we can do it well.
Do you do a warranty on your
Yeah, our work, our install. Well, the vendors, they all have their own individual warranty. A lot of them are limited lifetime warranties. So as long as you're not destroying your blinds, they're going to be covered for whatever happens to them. We also warranty any install we do. So anything we install is going to be right. And if it's not, we're going to make it right. And we install them right the first time. So,
One of the things I found that was a great thing, it made me feel good, is that when I was here, once all the windows were in, they came, we looked at all the windows and they took all the measurements. Now, that was kind of a stealthy thing that we did, just in case there was any problems with any of the measuring, that I could say, listen, these windows are crooked and they're not, that was also great. But then they already had all the measurements. The windows had already been measured. So this way they already had a record of all of the measurements for all of the windows. So when the time came, now of course, they came back and remeasured before anything was ordered, but we had a basic idea of prices. So when we, if there was something that I saw that I liked, could you price out what that kind of a shade would cost approximately? I saw something, if I wanted that, what would something like that cost? You have the window. So, and it hadn't changed. The size of the window hadn't changed.
Yeah.
But he walked through the house and now took measurements for everything. So Janine, it's not a terrible idea if you're down here, and because now they can see, are you going to need a blackout shade in one area? One of the things that Michael discovered, and Michael, why don't you share why you needed a certain kind of shade in your office that would never have occurred to me if you hadn't been sitting at your computer?
Right. So, good example. First of all, unless you're in the house, you really don't know how the sun affects each room. And you think you do, because before we moved in, the house was being built, and we'd walk the house, We realized certain areas would not require or would require some shading. And then there were some areas like the room I'm in now, which is an extra bedroom. It's my office, where on this side of the house, we knew the sun was going to come in, but we didn't know, is it going to be bright? Is it going to be obnoxious? Is it going to be no problem? And then as I started to use this space, and I sit here at this desk every day because I'm working remotely, I realized that to the left of me right here, guys don't see it, is a window. And when I was doing these Zoom calls, this side of my face was in sunlight. It looked really weird. It's like somebody was shining a spotlight right here. And then, so then we had Chip come over and we walked the house and we looked at rooms. And there is a shade, a window. It's right there. So it's really important, I think, to walk the house with Chip and team, to look at each window that you're looking at. And then once you don't really know until you're in the house how the sun is going to be entering that room and how obnoxious or not obnoxious is going to be. So it's Janine, to your point, you guys aren't going to be occupying that house for another year or so. But you know what? If you're coming down here to visit and you know you're coming down on a certain date, a month from now, and you want to set up an appointment with Chip, to Robin's point, and you want Chip to come in and give you some ideas, because then you'll have a year to think about stuff. Now, he'll take his measurements, and the frame is not going to change. The size of the window is not going to change. But you'll have a chance to then say, you know what? I'm in the model house. I see the way they staged everything in this room. We're probably going to have a similar arrangement. And I don't like all the sun coming in, or I want this type of shade. So you'll have a big advantage over most of us. You know, you could be observing for a year how the sun, goes around your house.
Yeah, and the light changes at different times of the year. So, we had no idea because we never really paid attention. You don't pay attention to it until all of a sudden the light's showing up in a different spot. So you pay attention to different things. So, we really, I really didn't think I was going to need, and then it just changes the look of a room. He's going to be really surprised when I call him and tell him, I'm going to need something. He's going to go, but you never wanted anything over there, and wait until he finds out where I'm going to want to put something. And he's going to go, really? And it has nothing to do with the light. It's just, it needs a zhuzh.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just needs a zhuzh. It doesn't have anything to do with covering anything, right, Barbara? It just needs something there, and you don't know what it needs. So
here's
it's imagination.
Let me jump in. So here's a good example. You guys were talking a few minutes ago about doing things in phases. So we moved into the house, and we knew from being here and talking with Chip in advance what we wanted as phase one. Okay, we want to cover this room, we want to cover that room, cover the bathroom, and then we talked about the types of shades, and everything was done in phase one. Then now comes phase two, and it's a very small phase, right, Chip? It's our garage, because now Robin is saying, wait a second, we've got a front-facing garage, right? Not the front-facing, but the windows for the garage face forward. And guess what? We don't want everybody walking by our house, looking inside our garage and seeing all of our junk, right? And seeing all of our shelving. So we want to make it look nicer. So that it's a small phase, but that is now phase two, is it not, Chip?
Yeah. And realistically, what we ended up doing was totally smart. You didn't want to bring attention to those windows, so we ended up doing a very simple roller shade, black roller shade, dark roller shade. So it's going to just blank out everything behind those windows, and it's not going to draw any attention. So those are the things you kind of figure out as you're in the house.
But now, Chip, there's something that you're missing, though. Here's the other thing that we did. If you remember, I think you came over, there was a fair amount of sun coming in that day. And so you had all your samples. They were in the truck. We pulled your samples out, and we looked at different colors, and we looked at what's called openness factor. We looked at the different openness factor on the shade, and we held things up to the window to see, well, if we put this one on, how much light is going to come through? Oh, how about this one? How about that one? And then from all those experimentations, right, we figured out which product. Now, we're waiting for you, Chip. In another week or so, I know you're coming back.
Yes.
I know. So we'll have shades on our garage, and nobody can see our junk. But that's what the process was, and it worked great. And to your point, Chip, you guys come in and you measure to what, the 32nd of an inch?
Yeah. We go down to,
Right.
And it's, you know, with every product we do that. Some you have, like if you do shutters and you're doing an inside mount, I mean, a 16th of an inch is going to make or break it.
Right.
So yeah, that's.
So Chip, I'll just share one other thing and then I'll shut up. I remember like the first time you came in to measure, you were amazed that like the windows that were installed in a given room, they were the same size to the 16th of an inch. What you had told us is that many builders are not that precise. So what you think is the same size window, you know, within a given room, it's not.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage to what you guys bring to the table, because if I'm measuring, I'm probably not going to be accurate myself. I'm going to be within a quarter of an inch. You guys have those electronic measuring devices, which is really accurate. So, and fast.
Yeah. And the other, and I'm just gonna, the one thing is everyone's saying, okay, you know, the bottom line. So Michael and I decided that, you know, we put the things in, we're not spending any money on the garage. It's a garage, right? And we're saying, what's the big deal? We'll go to Lowe's, we'll go to Depot, we'll buy the cheapest piece of garbage because it's the garage. Who cares? No one's going to look at it. So what do? We go, we measure it out because we got big windows in the garage. We see the cost on it and we're like, okay, they're big windows and they're like 200 feet up in the air, you know, like they're really high. He's going to have to stand on a ladder and they're not as inexpensive. So all right, maybe we'll come in them. I said, you know, let's have them quote it out. Not only do these young guys are going to get up on the ladder and go 10 feet because we have 10-foot high windows in the garage. They came in at least, if not at the same price, and they're putting them up. They're getting up on the ladder and they're measured properly and they're going to get installed properly. So we're talking apples to apples when it comes to, you know, price wise. Now I'm not putting in, you know, top of the line fancy shades there, but I'm just saying that, and we don't have to get up on the ladders and do it. And we're getting the right things and they're going to be put in right. So because everyone's heads are going, yeah, but you know, what does it cost? What does it cost? What does it cost? So I'm just saying that was the reality. And we went through and we told him that we did it. So we were not looking to put something in there. It was not a heavy sale. It was not a big thing. So for those of you who are mentally going through, okay, but I can go to Depot or I can go to Lowe's and I'm going to put something in there. We went through that. The windows here are big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's houses. I mean, I don't know in some of the other houses, but they're big windows. I don't even remember how big those windows are, but a lot of our windows, even if they're narrow, they're really long.
The garage windows are 70 inches high from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And it doesn't start 1 foot off the ground.
Right.
So to get to where you have to install the shades, you have to climb up on a ladder. You're probably going to be about 10 feet up in the air to install the shades in our garage, which I'm capable of, but I really don't want to be climbing a ladder if I have Chip and team to do that.
Michael, I think you can reach him though, can't you? You're real close, right?
Yeah, right. I'm closer than you, Chip.
Yeah,
I'm closer than you.
You can't reach the bottom sill. It's funny when we hang out and I talk to you, I'm looking up, my neck hurts the next day.
Yeah, so for people that don't know me, I'm 6'4", and Chip, you're 5 something.
And Chip's just not. He's just not.
Yeah.
So, guys, do you want to talk at all about anything electronic, about any of the electric shades or any of that stuff? Because I know that you guys also do those.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So those have gotten more popular as times went on. Last time we did this Zoom meeting, we were doing a lot of them. And even since then, they've evolved into a product that lasts, in some cases, longer than a cordless unit that you would operate by hand. And the reason behind that is that everything is tuned perfectly. It has a motor, nobody's touching it, there's no hands on it.
Yep.
And these motors last a long time. They're programmed well. If they have any issues, you just give us a call. You can sync everything up to your phone now, so you can control it when you're at the grocery store or if you're out of town. Yeah. It's a good option. The price point's a little bit higher, but it's dropped down dramatically opposed to what it used to be.
That's true. And what we normally do, and I can tell you as far as pricing goes, what a lot of times, and probably about half of the situations we'll meet somebody and they say, I know exactly what I want. And then it's a very straightforward situation. I also meet with, and we meet with a lot of clients that say, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I want this product, that product, or whatever. So what we do is we'll take measurements of all, and I'll put together a spreadsheet on one page that shows all the different price points per product. And then that stages our next meeting, where we start to not only talk about what those price points are, but then we start pulling out hand samples, holding them up to the windows, and really help with the guidance part of this from the visual, but also from the economic side, or the money side of it all. And it works really well. It's a great process.
I mean, there's a ton of people in the community that have the product. So there's certainly plenty of people that you can speak to. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Debbie.
So, hi. So, Robin, I know you had a designer come in to help you with furniture and things like that. Did you coordinate colors and textures with Chip?
It's interesting because I didn't really have to. The rooms, she worked with me on places that I really didn't need shades. And because the rooms, those particular rooms, and you guys definitely come in, and all of you are always welcome. Come on in. My doors are always open. The rooms that we worked on are floor to ceiling doors that all open. So all of those rooms don't have any kind of window treatments on them.
Okay.
The rooms, actually the windows that we needed shades on, because all of my windows in my house is a little bit different for those who have been in my house, that it's more than 50% of my house faces the woods and nobody's back there. So I don't need any shades because there's nothing behind there but the deer that have been, and the squirrels that have been munching and eating me out of house and home on seed. So there is nobody out in the back. There are no windows. Everything is all, there's nobody back there. So the windows that I needed shades on, ridiculously, was my laundry room and my closet, which really ticked me off because it took up space in my closet that I needed for shoes. And because my two on my porch, so those were literally the two first things I said, you gotta, close those up. But I want them to look nice because they're on my front porch.
Mm-hmm.
So those were that was phase 1A. So those had to be done. And of course, Michael's office and anything on the side of the house was actually phase 2, because we didn't know what we needed until the sun was, blaring in his face. And then we have one door from our bedroom that I wanted something really badly that he didn't say no to me. And he said, after it was discontinued, I should have told you no, but I don't like to say no to you. So I got what I should have gotten. So that's what happens. I got in my head that I wanted it because I liked it, and we tried to shove it in some place that it really didn't belong. So that's what happens when you don't listen to the professionals. And so, if you love something, then you can find a place to put it. The shades that we put up in my guest room are just stunning, and they were a leap of faith. And everybody who walks into my guest room goes, "Oh my God, those are they just were perfect."
They're beautiful.
So, but go with your gut. There's so, but he left me with the books.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no pressure, and I kind of just played with it. Ask people. So it depends what your tolerance is for what you need. If you walk into Home Depot or you walk in someplace, they're going to show you books, and that's great. But until you live with it a little bit and you hold it up in different light and you have the opportunity to see, Michael says, don't show me, you like that one? Fine. Don't ask me. If you like it, that's fine. He doesn't want to see it, but show me 2. So, but if you need help, then yeah. So then definitely, if you're going to bring somebody in, then yes, work with texture. I had a pretty good idea of what I had in my head because I wanted it simple. And we were, color wise, there weren't that many choices because I wanted something that let light in.
Right.
That didn't show up because it was on my front porch. I didn't want it to show.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you'll see it. Whereas, but the shutters in some places, they work great. Suzanne has a similar situation on her front porch. So, but she has a different aesthetic in mind. So she may put in a different type of shade.
Yeah. And if I can jump in real quick.
Yep.
Yes. And regarding interior designers, we work with a handful of interior designers and what works out a lot, what works out great is that, we're happy to leave samples, the swatch books with you. So, and this, doing this all the time. We'll meet with you, leave behind our swatches and sample books, and then your interior designer can meet with you. And there's been situations where I'm meeting with a interior designer plus a homeowner, but if it doesn't, coordinate that way, leave it with you. They can come in and kind of start to talk about color, and then you could look at the colors with them. So yeah, super flexible. Whatever works for you, we can handle.
Okay, perfect. Great. We have a ways to go before we have windows, so.
Yeah. But cool. That sounds like a plan.
Yes,
right.
Thank you.
Sure. All righty.
Anybody else have anything? But when you guys are down, please totally feel free to come and take a look at whatever you want, or even if you're not coming to look at the shades, come and knock on my door anyway. So yeah, the information is there, and I certainly will, for those of you who aren't on the chat here, I will put all their information in the chat, but also on the email when I send out the recording.
Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. You guys have, I'll see you guys when I get back.
Me too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Night, guys.
Bye.
So, and it's interesting with all the, every vendor, no matter what it is, and it's, the window shades or with anything, there's so many different things. You just have to feel comfortable, and I'm finding that when you're working with your builder, you're dealing on the most part with whoever they bring in, right? And you have to feel comfortable because that's who your builder brings in. And then afterwards, you're so tired. I don't know about everybody else, but you're so tired of all these different people showing up. And now I'm just so used to people. You get so used to people just walking in and out of your house. You don't even question it anymore. Because we were living here. So we moved in after our CO, and we had workers coming in, and we were just so happy that people were coming in to finish everything that you don't question. They knock on your door, the painters are here, or the plumbers were here. It's nice to know who's coming in and when. We got used to knowing. So it's interesting, what we know after 6 months. What you know about living in North Carolina after 6 months. And it's been an interesting 6 months. You guys have a lot. It's been wonderful. Michael, have you had one moment of saying we should have stayed in New York?
Not a one.
And the community, it continues to be vibrant and growing. The people moving in every day, the construction. What was so overwhelming when we first got here has become part of for those of you who are visiting every day or who, coming down, has become part of the daily flow. I find that things are popping up faster a little bit. I think the speed by which things are happening, I think that the pace is changing. Certainly in the last year, things seem to be happening a little bit faster for the most part. So for those of you who are building, I don't think it doesn't seem to be taking as long. The people moving in next door to us, they were dragging their feet a little bit on their model. and Haygood told them that after they get their permits, they said that it will take 6 months. I don't think it's going to really take 6 months, but it could. So that's a little optimistic, but everything seems to be hopping. When it comes to when it comes to a lot of these things, each builder is very different. There is so much going on. I mean, Suzanne, you haven't been here in a while. What did you think? What was your impression of the community? It's been quite a while since you've been here.
No, September. Yeah.
Was it September? Well, September is still,
Yeah. Yeah, I was there in September, but yeah, it seems like a lot's going on. Lots happened since September.
Yeah, there's houses going up, people are moving in, more and more groups are happening. There's a lot happening with pickleball. So, if you're interested in pickleball, this is the place to be. Michael, you want to fill everybody in about only because you're the one that went to the meeting the other night.
So the pickleball courts, there's 4 pickleball courts plus a tennis court that doubles as a pickleball court. A lot of pickleballers don't like to play on it, but it's there for use. So there's really 5. There are a lot of people that play pickleball. There are 2 pickleball groups. There's I'll call it the regular group, and then there's a group that is more like easy play, just for fun, pickleball. Both groups are great. Both groups have a lot of fun. All the people are really nice. But what's happening is they started this in the fall, where the pickleballers from this community have joined what I would call a league that would play other communities competitively, but for fun in pickleball. So maybe Magnolia Green would have a pickleball group, and Brunswick Forest has a pickleball group, et cetera, all the different communities around this area. And so they would, maybe one week we're hosting, and then another week we're going to somebody else's locality. And they do it based upon level of capability. There's something called a DUPR score, DUPR, for those that don't know what that is. Please don't make me explain it. For those that play pickleball, you know what a DUPR score is, but that's basically like in golf, what your handicap is. So there's a lot of fun. Not every week is inter-community play. Most of the time it's just open play. People come down and play, but they are starting now a spring inter-community play. There will be one group that is for what I would call the competitive play. They're doing practices now, and they're getting their DUPA scores adjusted or regulated. And they're going to start in a couple of weeks playing against other communities. Once a week, they'll have an inter-community play. And then there's another league that's starting up for what they call beginner and social. So these are people that are probably at a lower skill level, or they've never played before. And those will be also inter-community contests, but every other week, not every week. And that will also be accompanied by some instruction from the more experienced players. So I'm giving it to you like in a nutshell. That's what's going on in the world of pickleball. I started playing around November, somewhere around the Thanksgiving time frame. So I'm still a beginner, and I try to play once a week, maybe once every other week. And so I'm not ready to play inter-community and competitive, but I do enjoy playing, and I've met a lot of people, and it's a very inviting, welcoming group. And the other thing I wanted to add, just as a general comment, is in the 6 months that Robin and I have been here, and also in the years leading up to when our build was completed, the people in the community are really friendly. They're really nice. When you drive around, people wave to each other. When you ride your bike and you walk your dog, people are waving to each other. Hi, how are you? We may not know everybody, but everybody's friendly and welcoming. And the other thing about the community that we've discovered, it's a very giving community. There's been some what I would call events to raise money for charities or maybe people in need. They have different types of opportunities to give back to the greater community, or maybe to some other charity or organization that needs a little bit of help. And so there's a lot of that that goes on. And I'll give you just one other silly example. Robin and I, in the cold of the winter, about a month or so back, we lost our heat, believe it or not, the coldest day of the year. And Robin put out a call on Facebook. I know I see the look on your face, Robin. But she
Helping
put out
Hands.
help us on Facebook. Does anybody have portable heaters? And people came out of the woodwork to donate a couple portable heaters to us for the day and a half that we were without heat until finally we got it all fixed. So it's a very giving community. People just will, if you need some help, people are going to help you. It's really, really a nice community to live in.
No, it's awesome. Kim, I know you're doing your dishes, but if I could, and what happened to your computer? There you are. If I could grab you, if you could you just give us a little update on what's going to be going on with the fitness over at the new clubhouse when it does open? Because I know you've been a really integral part in what's going to be happening over there.
Yeah, so all the equipment has been purchased. There's no place to, it's probably on hold somewhere. But the fitness room itself, I don't know how many numbers of product there is, but there's going to be rowers and bikes and different types of machines. So it's going to be a pretty compact, but you could have a lot of people in there all using all those different machines. So kind of like typical of different fitness facilities that you see. They did visit like Compass Point and Brunswick Forest to get ideas how to set things up. Then there's an exercise room, and that will be like where the yoga is and some of the other fitness activities, take place. If anybody here has any certifications already, like in Pilates or anything like that, please let me or Diane Shopey know. Excuse me. Because we would love to, we like to utilize as many of us to teach. Right now we're teaching in the clubhouse, and I can fit 13 chairs in there for chair yoga. And then Diane's got like 13 people that will do different types of exercise. She does P90X, pound, and some other things like that she's certified in. So her and I are the main two teachers that work in the clubhouse. And then we'll just transfer over into the exercise room. There also will be a massage room. There will be another room that will have a pool table and I think a ping pong table in it. There will be a kitchen that we don't necessarily use. There will be a chef that is hired, and he is going to be cooking, and you get to order meals. I don't know if it's just
so all of that stuff. You'll be able to see all of it. The plans are on the owner's portal, so you'll be able to see it. It's in the files in there. But I know that you've been instrumental, and thank you for all of that in putting this, in ordering this stuff. So it's going to be great because we're moving tables and chairs, and it's going to be kind of fun to be able to have both. We'll still be able to use both spaces, so we can run classes simultaneously because it's frustrating, and it's also great to be able to have people within the community, and we're only are we 2/3 at this point?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask.
So they said first it was October, and then they got moved back, and then it was like January. Now it's April. It doesn't look like April. So, but you know what? We just go with the flow. We're not in charge of that. So we just work around it. And, there's tons of activities. If you guys look at Team Reach, you've got book club, or if you just look at the Harbor at the Bluffs, or whatever it's called on the website, and you go into like resident activities, there's more activities there than you can count. And
we're always busy. There's always something to do.
If you get bored at the Bluffs, that's because you're just inside your house and never leave. There's absolutely no reason to get bored. There are tons of things to do. Or guess what, folks? You can create your own.
Yes, you absolutely can. I appreciate it. And when you're done with your dishes, you're more than welcome to come over here anytime and chip in. Does anybody have any questions and anything that they want to look into? Eleonora, I was asking about appliances and stuff like that. I know that some people have, and that's definitely a question. That my house came with, the appliances. I know that there are certain stores and things like that there. It's a private thing, but I can certainly have you talk to a couple of people. So you and I'll have it. Are you coming into town anytime soon?
I have a short break in April. So if any movement's going to happen, probably I will come down for an overnight. But yeah, the showroom, the options that they had, I was not pleased with, and they gave me permission to source my own.
Oh, okay. Anybody have any?
So that's, I'm looking if anybody has any tips or anything. Anybody, if he has, I know that like a new trend, it's to have that washer dryer together. Anybody?
Yeah, we have the stacking. I have
No,
the
but there is like
stack.
one unit that has everything in it instead of like stacking or two side by side. Say,
Yeah, it's a washer and dryer combo.
Yeah, so Eleanor, my son has that. I mean, he doesn't live in North Carolina, it's in Pennsylvania. They love it. So for there's the three of them, my granddaughter and my son and his wife, and they can just throw the laundry in and then leave, and then it washes and dries it. And when they come back, they can fold it.
How come we didn't know about that?
I don't know. This younger generation, they're right on it.
Then you can only do one load at a time, Robin.
Oh, darn.
Oh, that's
So
true.
it takes a little bit longer because you have to wash and dry. Right. But you know what? If you're, for them, they have, they're busy with activities. So they put the wash in and then they leave and go do whatever activity they're doing. And they come back, it's done. And then they do the next load. And so they like it. Now, we just bought washer and dryer, but we didn't buy that. I mean, I can barely figure out without the little thing in the middle how I'm going to do my wash. So, but I'm fortunate. My husband's retired, so he does all the laundry now. He does all the grocery shopping, and Robin, he does all the cooking. So I would do the cleaning. You don't want me in the kitchen. So my whole kitchen in my new house, my husband designed it all. I couldn't tell you anything about the stove or the oven or convection or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm lucky I know how to crack open an egg, but I can keep you in good health. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Brian, you looked like you had an opinion about that washer dryer combo thingy.
All I have is it's really new technology. It's probably been out for a year or two. Don't know how efficient until Kim said she has personal relations with it. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's out there.
Yeah, the biggest thing I remember reading about some of the appliances, because we have GE profile, all the GE profile. That was what the house was spec with. And one of the things when I was watching YouTube, because everything you need to learn is all on YouTube, and it's all true. Everything you see on YouTube is 100% true. But they said that you can have amazing appliances and incredible technology, but make sure that there are people to service it wherever you're living. So before you find phenomenal unusual technology, just make sure there's somebody where you live that can service it, because there's a lot of things that are great, but just make sure that in your area there's more than one person that can fix it if something does go wrong. And I thought that was really kind of smart, because you don't think about it. So when you start to look it up, and they're like, that they don't have somebody that may fix the waka waka, fabulous something or other, and you go, oh, I have to go to Raleigh to find a part. That's not going to help.
When we were asking about that on the Living in the Bluffs from people that have been here for a bit, I think Bosch is in the area. And that did sway us as far as picking out the refrigerator and dishwasher. The other stuff is KitchenAid, which is fine. But I know Bosch is in the area, if that's a vendor that you're interested in. Not sure about the other guys. We're taking what we get.
So here's something that Robin and I learned from some of our experiences and some of the appliance issues. You may have a Bosch, dealer in the area, but there's probably not an overabundance of Bosch dealers in the area. So if something goes wrong with your washing machine or your air conditioning system and you call somebody to come fix it, they might come that day, or they might say, we can't come for another day or two. Whereas like we came from Long Island. And if I had a problem with my washer or dryer, which we didn't really too often, if I called somebody and he couldn't come, I probably can call 10 others and somebody would come that day to fix my washing machine, right, or air conditioner. But maybe not so much around here. It's sometimes there's just the area has grown so much that there's not an overabundance of field technicians to come out and fix everything. They might or might not come that day. Matter of fact, I think they would probably take another day or so to get there. And we encountered that a couple of times. So just keep that in mind.
But I think, yeah, but for the most part, I mean, it is exploding. And yes, the rumor is true. They are building hopefully they're building a Publix in a brand new shopping center. So that's all evidently that was like the big major news around here that Publix is coming to Leland.
Yes.
In
And
a shopping
supposedly an
center.
Amazon distro center in Wilmington.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Because we need more traffic. We
I
definitely
know. But at least you might get your packages delivered by Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. We're all paying for Amazon Prime, not necessarily.
Exactly.
Although it's getting better. Some of it's definitely getting better. So,
Terry has great luck with Amazon, but
we're doing the best we can. Anybody else have anything that they want to bring to the table tonight? So I can let everybody go and relax. And any questions? Anything monumental? Anybody?
Not that anybody would have the answer to this, but do the majority of people in the neighborhood register their golf carts with the state, or are they unregistered?
That's a great question. I believe that you don't have to register them. I think that I heard unless they go over 45 miles an hour and you can take them on the road. In other words, if you're not taking them out of the community, if they're not street-worthy or road
Right.
safe.
So, but I guess leading into that is, with all the construction in the area, I got to believe they're going to start building stuff closer to the bluffs. So that I could take my golf cart and go grocery shopping.
Ryan,
Brian, you know who's going to have that answer? The people that will have that answer are probably the golf cart dealers themselves, because they know the regulations for each of the towns or counties around the area. And I think some of the people that, not us, but other people in the community that have purchased golf carts probably learned a little bit about that. But I haven't seen any golf carts in the community me personally, that are licensed.
Okay.
Nobody's taking them out onto Mount Misery Road. A lot of people have golf carts where the top speed is 25 miles an hour.
Yep.
And I don't know, have you done any investigation?
I have. And one of the things was that a registered golf cart, now you're paying the taxes on like a regular vehicle, but it's a better resale value if you go to sell it than one that's not registered. Am I planning on flipping them like I do cars? No. So I was just curious.
The only thing that I'm going to say to you is what Michael says to me when I told him that I wanted a Spider or I wanted a Gator, is that I am not taking any vehicle that is not a car onto Mount Misery Road, because you do not want to be on right, Kim? You do not want to be on Mount Misery Road in anything smaller than a tank, because seriously, because there are people that bike on Mount Misery Road that are people from our neighborhood that, and you really don't, even if my golf cart was registered and went 45 miles an hour, I don't know that I would want to be on Mount Misery Road. And there's virtually no cars really on Mount Misery Road right now. I mean, for what it's gonna be. I had my first encounter with a car in the neighborhood across the street this morning. So I left the community. It was 5 to 8. And there was nobody else on the road coming either way. And she was sitting in the driveway coming from the other community, facing me. No directional signal on. And I had my blinker on. She had no signal on, but she was there already when I came to the end. So she was there first. Good person that I am. I'm waiting for her to do something.
Right.
Right? Wasn't that the right thing to do, Michael? I was waiting for her. She was there. And of course, she was looking at her phone. So I assumed that whatever she was doing. And I waited 15 seconds. And then I did something that I haven't done more than 4 times since I've been here in 6 months. I tapped my horn. Like,
The
hello,
New York salute.
get off your phone. And she looked at me with angrily, like, go. Well, that's just a foreshadowing of things to come because there's no directional signal. She had no directional signal. Why was she sitting in the driveway facing me? Because my luck, I would have pulled out and then we both would have hit each other. But that Mount Misery in a golf cart, there is no bike lane.
You know what? It's a 40, the speed limit posted in our area, I think is 45 miles an hour, but people go much faster than that. And I would not, me personally, I don't want to be on it in a golf cart or a gator or any other small vehicle. I think I would rather be on it in a motor vehicle that can keep the same speed.
And certainly not the future, as more and more cars. Now, I have seen people. What's that other thing that I like so much, Michael? That 3-wheel vehicle.
The Spider.
Is it the Spider? That I'm not allowed to have. I'm not allowed to have that either.
No,
I think they're coming from like Compass Point because I see they're coming like to Food Lion on the other side. So, so they must be coming off of 140. Which is terrifying that's 70 miles an hour. I don't even like being on there's trucks there. So I'm just concerned with the thought of a golf cart, it's on that road.
No, I get it.
So
hey, Brian, that road, when that community across the street gets populated, there'll be, 200 something homes there.
Yeah.
Plus another 300 homes, populated in ours. There's going to be a lot of traffic just from the two communities. It's up to you. I don't want to be in a golf cart on Mount Misery Road.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
no, I was curious.
Yeah, it's so far, and it's interesting. But I'm going to be speaking. I have somebody from Icon Golf Carts that wants to come here to the community and do a safety check, just complimentary on all of the golf carts and anybody that is interested. I'll find out from them. Because they would certainly know, and I think that some of the golf carts here actually are souped up a little bit. They go a little bit faster than 25. Some of the people here want them; they're going 35 and everything else. Michael keeps telling me, Kim, that he doesn't think that there's going to be a stoplight at there. That it would already be, or a stop sign, even a stop sign.
It's going to be years. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty big development that they're building there. And then there'd probably be more to come. But there is a bigger police occurrence. They like to sit right, and when you take that left onto Mount Misery, the next road over, there's some grass there. They like to sit there quite often. So at least we're getting more police sitting on Mount Misery Road. So I go 45. Sometimes 48 might be the highest speed I go. And I know people are right on my butt. And I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping you from getting killed. But there are people who are brazen enough who will pass me. And I'm like,
the sheriff likes to sit
at the park.
At the park. Yep.
Yeah.
And even before that, where that little industrial areas on the left. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
saw
so they're
him
getting
there
more
too.
because there's been more accidents on Route 17, especially I think someone said they live in Brunswick Forest, because now Brunswick Forest has a light that says you must not turn right on red when you come out of Brunswick Forest. People still do. I get beeped at because I do not. It just creates less anxiety if I just sit there. I'm like, I'm waiting to turn green. But there's been so many accidents on 17, and they're still building more and more. There's a lot more on K Todd Road that's coming in, which is now called Long Pine. And there's more going there. So I'm thankful that we're on I call where we live, or where I'm going to be living with all of you. I call that quiet Leland. And then in Brunswick Forest, where I am now, I call that busy Leland. But it'll be all good. We just have to, just be conscious of, what's our surroundings, and we'll be fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if nobody else has anything else, just everybody stay safe. Come visit when you're in town. Come take a look. Janine, we're all going to take a look at your roof and give puppies kisses on their snoots.
We will. And hopefully we'll be down next month. See you guys.
Yay, yay, yay. And if you have any other questions, and just keep the questions coming, and we'll get as much information as we possibly can. And hopefully we'll see you guys really soon. And stay well, stay healthy. And I know allergy season is coming. We're waiting for the yellow snow here. And it'll be our first yellow snow season. So we're waiting to experience our first pollen season here in North Carolina. And it'll be just like everything else. It's all good. But we'll see you guys next month. And just keep everything going. Keep us posted with all the good stuff.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Robin. Good night.